Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday. It's the 7th day of March, 2022. This Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily, Wyoming's news authority. Visit them at cowboystatedaily.com and on their Facebook page. Just a week ago, it felt like spring. Just a week ago, many of you were in the 60s and even some 70s. But we've got another Arctic wave that's going to plow through the region starting tomorrow for the northern areas, then affecting everybody else through Wednesday and Thursday. This system is going to come from the Arctic, will affect Canada, Montana, and the Pacific Northwest first, then the central and southern Rockies and the central and southern high plains. Snow, very cold temperatures are coming in. We're going to, again, have livestock and travel concerns. Stock growers, the severe cold will last through at least Friday. By the weekend, the temperatures will begin to moderate, but not until the weekend, and even then they're not going to be really warm. So it's going to be another tough 5 days here, another tough week for anybody with young or weak or newborn livestock. So stock growers, take note. We had a lot of travel problems this weekend, especially Interstate 80. We'll have travel problems again in this region with this next Arctic wave coming through. Today's upper level map here at 18,000 feet, the 500 millibar chart, showing what we had over the weekend still affecting us. The weak low back here, another low here. These are weak. We'll continue to have flurries and snow showers down around parts of Colorado, the Four Corners region today, but for the most part, these systems are moving away and cold Canadian air is continuing to funnel on in. So it's going to be rather quiet weather-wise today and into early tomorrow, but it's going to be pretty cold for this time of year, well below average temperatures again. These are temperatures relative to the 30-year normals as of noon today. So you can see all the green and the purple and the green getting all the way back into areas west of the divide here. And then look at cold air pouring into the Plain States deep into the heart of Texas again. By tomorrow night into Wednesday, an Arctic wave begins to form and head south. Now this is by Wednesday night by about midnight. The Arctic wave is across Montana, moving into the northern and northwestern Wyoming. That's the main Arctic wave. We're going to see the Arctic air and snow beginning in Montana tonight, into northern Wyoming late tonight and into Tuesday morning. And then you'll just see a slow transition of the snow and the Arctic air during the course of Wednesday into Thursday, move across Wyoming, back west of the divide. Yes, this Arctic air is going to get on the other side of the mountains, so that's going to bring in some really cold air here. Really cold air pushes on in, and while this is not a terribly moist system, it is going to produce a fair amount of snow. It's mainly going to be a light to moderate snow event, not a big snow dump, but enough to cause problems. Look at the cold. This is by midnight or so Wednesday. So the Arctic air is getting better entrenched. Look at Montana and Wyoming. Look at all that purple there. And then as we get into Thursday afternoon, the cold wave is moving on in, headed to Texas, even into Arizona and the desert southwest. It's going to get a lot colder. And this cold wave will then march across the country. This is for March 11th. So we're getting at the time of year here where you're talking about some really cold air. These are temperatures relative to average by Thursday afternoon. Blue northern in the panhandle of Texas. The purple stretches across the western Corn Belt, through the Rockies, into the Great Basin. Temperatures well below normal across parts of southern areas of Canada as well. And we're going to see this march south and east. Now, as the Arctic front comes through, this is the liquid equivalent of precipitation. Again, this is not a really moist system at all, but it's going to add to the snow totals that we had this past weekend. So you put both of these systems together, and we're going to have a nice little area of snowpack building up on the plains and in the mountains. Of interest, this area really needs the moisture. So this will be good to see parts of Nebraska and northern Kansas, as well as northeastern areas of Colorado. Then the mountain areas of the Pacific Northwest and the northern Rockies will get another nice little shot of snow. And this is the snowfall forecast basically through late Thursday. The water content, not great, but with the Arctic air, the snow will accumulate, stack up a little bit easier. And you can see the snow getting west of the divide into parts of the Pacific Northwest, into the Great Basin states, the Wasatch Front of Utah. These are temperatures by Thursday morning. So you can see the gray. The gray means the forecasted low temperatures are below zero. And you can see the gray across Montana, parts of Wyoming, in eastern Idaho, even into Utah and Colorado, then across the Dakotas up here, into Minnesota, and single digits elsewhere. These are wind chill values by Thursday morning. -30 in parts of Carbon and Sweetwater County, Wyoming. Look at these sub-zero wind chills up here. So this is a January, February type pattern. Look at the wind chills back here into the Great Basin. Now this is by Friday morning. The forecasted low temperatures are even colder in some areas. And these are the wind chills by Friday morning. So this is why we want to give a heads up to stock growers to be prepared for this change back to some really cold winter weather again. Temperature anomalies by Saturday morning. The cold air is all the way into the Gulf of Mexico, deep into the southern plains and Corn Belt. Very cold air pouring on in for the middle of March, and this will just go across the whole United States by the end of the weekend. Now you may notice, this is by Saturday morning, up here into British Columbia, well, a Chinook is forming again. This is pretty much the same thing that happened with the last Arctic outbreak. The Arctic outbreak eases, then you get a westerly flow that brings a Chinook. So this Chinook area will expand and grow by Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. So that will bring relief from the cold. It's a natural transition. When Arctic air leaves, you're going to get a Chinook. And these are temperature anomalies by Sunday afternoon. Cold air is trapped in the western areas west of the divide into the basins and valleys. But east of the divide, we start to get a warm up here, as you can see the reds, while the cold spreads into the southeast United States and even into Florida. Snowfall forecast, this is through Thursday afternoon. So not only are we going to have snow here, but we're going to have snow go right across the northwest Corn Belt into the Great Lakes. Iowa had tornadoes and severe thunderstorms this weekend. They're going to have snow here before the week's over, eastern areas of Nebraska as well. Now going out further, this is for Saturday night into Sunday. You can see the westerly flow. The Arctic air then goes up into here. This allows the warm up. But you see this right here? We showed you this last week where we get this wave train. So this will come through the Rockies late Saturday night into Sunday and Monday, producing mountain snow most likely. Another wave behind it. And if we were to go out into the Pacific, this is Saturday night. Wave here, wave here, wave here. And then, you're talking about all the way being back up into Asia and Korea here. So this wave train is likely going to continue to bring waves into the Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies into next week. Now, we don't anticipate any of these at the moment becoming a major weather system, but at least small systems will continue to move on through, keeping the weather pattern busy. Have yourself a great Monday. Stay warm. We'll talk to you tomorrow with an update on the forecast. But the message ahead is bundle up, stay warm. We've got a rough week of weather ahead for this time.